Good morning, bows and bow ties. So I want to get right on into it. So I had the title of this is Black Women and Their Oxygen Masks. Um, so I previously did a video on why we need to start saving ourselves first. This was the thumbnail. It was basically use your oxygen mask. Okay. Now, let me just say this. I want to hopefully do this within about 10 minutes, but I never seem to stay within a time limit. This weekend, my daughter was at a Girl Scouts camp thing, and then she also had a lacrosse tournament. It was a very busy weekend. We cut our Girl Scouts weekend short, and on the way back, I was listening to some radio stuff, and I'm listening to people who put out videos, and the conversation, circled back to Kanye, Meg the Stallion, the controversy on whether or not she was assaulted by a weapon. For those of you who know, you know. Um, and then Drake and his nonsense. And this is the thing. I'm just gonna get right on into it. You need Black women right now. The whole situation is situational. You're going to need to put your oxygen mask on. Put it on. That's the thumbnail you selected to get into this video. Save yourself first right now. Like they say when you're on a plane, I'm going to continue to use that, to borrow that. You can't help anyone unless you help yourself first, especially like children, right? So they always tell parents, I want you to put your oxygen mask on first, and then you help your child. And right now, we've got a whole community full of children, a whole community full of children. I'm just going to just narrate a couple things. You've got Nick Cannon continuing to behave in a manner that is, I don't even know what to say. And it goes all the way up too because P Diddy, he's still doing shenanigans. He's still engaging in shenanigans. This is what is being promoted in our community. Okay, multiple women and children and stuff like that, out of all sorts of stuff like that. You got Nick Cannon, you got P Diddy, you've got Drake, who I honestly think much of what he's saying about like all the stuff that's going on and the way he's trying to diss Meg the Stallion, I think it's because he's trying to promote an album. But see, it's like the lowest hanging fruit. I know I can profit off of Black women rage, right? If I go after a Black woman. So you got Nick Cannon. You've got, we already know about the Kanye debacle. I don't think I need to say more because he has basically done this to himself. And then we got good old Kyrie Irving. So a lot of this was happening over the weekend while I was going from place to place to place. It was a very busy weekend. I'm going to pull up this for a second. This is what I did a search on this morning. And look at the titles. Why Nike can afford to drop Kyrie Irving. Now I want you to check this out. NBA's Kyrie Irving saga is an abdication of leadership, a blow to the brand. He is considered a blow to the Nets brand. Check this out. I'm going to scoot over to the right here. It says, Nets give Kyrie Irving 6 requirements to fulfill before he can return to the team. They're basically, let me bring myself back up here. They're basically having him buy the, you know what, the Go Nats, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, you can't jump off big and bad on platforms you don't own, on brands you don't own, in institutions you don't own, in banking institutions you don't own, flapping your gums, expecting people to give you something, and then have righteous indignation. Like they canceled me. I'm no longer a billionaire. Or I'm being told I got to take a break from the team or whatever. I don't know. I didn't see what he said. But I think he had to go walk back his apology already, didn't he, Kyrie Irving? This is a lesson on the delusion of this community. And right now, I'm poking fun at Black men because we got some shenanigans with Black women too. But this is the delusion of this community. We actually are like haughty about it. The audacity for us to think I'm going to flap my gums on other people's platforms and think that there's no blowback. Oh, let me go back to this for a second. I thought this was just so interesting. Kyrie Irving is a blow to the brand. They consider him a blow to the brand. Don't come this way. Okay. All right. He thought he was something other than what he was. They're like, you're nothing more than a blow to the brand. Well, check this out. Let me bring this back out. They're like, Nike can afford to drop Kyrie Irving. Everyone wants to be like so smart and big hotep, right? And they are just showing us lessons on how to squander the coin. So when I say I want Black women to put their oxygen mask on first, we don't have men who are going to lead, right? Because they want to lead. They want to lead, and they're all these great things, and they want to be alpha men and can't even keep the coin in their pocket. So this is what I say to Black women: you do need to save yourself. Use your oxygen mask. Save yourself first. I say this because look, this is what you need to do. Let me take that off. You need to first educate yourself. There are going to be people out there now who are going to demonize this. They're going to come up with all kinds of talking points around Black women in education. Either you have too much attitude or you have student loan debt. And you have to weed out the noise. Right now, we've got a group of people taking us down this road to perdition. We're going straight to hell. Okay? The first thing you need to do is educate yourself. It's not just, hey, you don't have to be loud about it, okay? You know I'm doing this. It's not just getting an education when I talk about getting a formalized degree, right? It's literally educating yourself on multiple things. So you may have a chosen profession, but you still need to educate yourself on managing your finances. Let this be a cautionary tale to what a lot of the ding dongs are doing. They think they're so educated in everything and popping off, and they haven't thought it through on how they want to convey their message. I feel like what these brands and these corporations and everything, what they're doing is they're using our men who are so sensitive and don't have any sort of wisdom. It's almost as if like they have access to the community through um propping up their egos. It's almost like a Trojan horse. They can continue to dismantle the community. All they got to do is say, you know what, we'll pick the weakest element. We'll pick our men right now who have low self-esteem. They don't have the wisdom right now. They find their value in what's in between their legs. When the first thing they talk about is like what sets them apart from other people, is they talk about their member down there. That lets me know what kind of person you are. Oh, they just want this, you know what? I'm like, you sound so stupid. You sound so stupid. That's what sets you apart. That's what you value, is that? Because we can go back to the history and they talk about the over sexualization of our people. But anyway, let's get back to the topic. I need women. Save yourself first. Number two, you're going to have to stop engaging in a whole bunch of behavior that's going to give you like 10 children by 10 different partners. Okay? We have to govern ourselves. So, what you can do is you can show people better than you can tell them. Now, I want people to catch that. I'm going to sneeze, by the way. You need to educate yourself first. Number two, govern your body. Number three, stop giving out anything that's going to be considered or perceived as bad promotion, meaning how we talk to each other. The reality TV situation is darn near lost cause. I tried to watch not Married to Medicine, which was it? Potomac last night, and I fell asleep on it. And I said I'll try to watch it again today and see if I can find something redeeming out of it. And the reason why I was trying to watch the show is because I was trying to support Black women who are, they call that working, right? But I'm like, I can't take it. I honestly fell asleep on it. I think I saw one scene and I don't even remember what I saw. We have to stop with the negative promotion of ourselves. So while we've got the men who are on a path to self-destruction, there are things that we have to do. We have to stop talking to each other like we're a piece of shit. We have to stop with the over dragging of people, because all that does is it's just telling of who you are. I'm like, well, what is going on with your self-esteem that you have to drag somebody? I'm not saying there's never a time when you don't need to, but I feel like it's done all the time. That we all we do is go out of our way to hurt each other. There is no sisterhood. I don't care what anybody says. The culture is trash. This is a trash culture right now. We got black men who don't know how to act. They are so stupid right now. They are squandering their money that they could be using to build in our community and build relationships with people outside the community, because not everybody outside the community is a bad person. They're not. And then a lot of people are going to want to fight me on it, but they're not. Not everyone is a bad person. Not everybody is out to cause you harm. You can come in here, but you just can't come through this way. So go ahead. Just go around that way, honey. Anyway, and the thing I'm just going to say also, besides saving yourself, is you need to get some self-esteem. No one has any self-esteem. And what happens is we take and compare ourselves to other people, right? Instead of having our own standard for our own community, our standard is based off of what's happening in other communities. We exalt violence and misogyny and just anything negative. The people we value the most are our athletes. And go ahead, you can go ahead. You don't have to crawl. You can stand up. Oh my goodness, my kids. We exalt our athletes and our rappers, and you know what I mean? There's a reason why the culture, the so-called culture, they idolize Beyonce. And a lot of people are not going to like what I'm saying. Hey, have a good day, okay? Bye. Why is my high schooler not speaking to me? So we idolize Beyonce. And everyone's like, you don't know what she's done in private. I'm like, yeah, but we don't know what she's done in public. Why is it that we can publicly support her and be like, oh, she's the best and she's the queen and don't come for the queen, but she can't publicly show how she's supporting everyone? Just put it in. You can put it in like normal. Just do it regularly. Well, they're like, you don't know what they're doing in private. I'm like, but they publicly want your money. They publicly cry out for your support when something's going wrong. Hey, they took away my billionaire status. If you're doing something in private, why not solicit the help from the so-called community who help prop you up on somebody else's platform, right? Yeah, that can be a grassroots effort. But instead, these ridiculous people are going to continue to feed our entertainers and athletes and stuff. But then, like, you got people who claim they were going to start a GoFundMe to make Kanye a billionaire. He doesn't even care about you. He doesn't care about you. But we won't start a GoFundMe to say, hey, we're going to go out of our way and pay for blah, blah, blah for kids to, I don't know, have backpacks. Like that billionaire who paid for those young men. I believe it was at Morehouse. I don't remember the name of the guy. He paid off their student or their tabs or student loans. I'm not sure which one it was. He cleared their debt. That's helpful. He went to a Black institution, found those men, and cleared the debt. Now, I was like, okay, regardless of whether you like them or not, nevertheless, it does impact. There's impact there. Maybe we need to do something similar, Black women. We need to save ourselves. Because we've got Kyrie acting like a fool, Kanye acting like a fool, Nick Cannon acting like a fool. You have P. Diddy acting like a fool, and then you had Drake, who I guess depending on, absolutely not. Go back over here, please. No, until I'm finished. We've got Drake, who thinks it's okay to come after Meg the Stallion. We've got whole groups of people who take pleasure in trying to question what happened to her. It's disgusting. This is why I say I don't even think I'm part of this culture. I don't know. I'm making my a culture of one, the B.O.W culture. So this is what I said. Look, save yourself first. You better educate yourself. Listen to me pointing that thing. Educate yourself. You need to educate yourself, not just a formal education, but educate yourself on multiple things. How are you going to sustain yourself? Understanding your finances, your health. There's so many things. Owning land. Let me just say this. I owned my first house at 26. And the only reason why it was at 26 was because I was living overseas. I would have owned my first house like probably 22. I graduated when I was 21 from college. No, that's too much. Okay. Why is my son has a baggie full of goldfish that he's trying to fill all the way to the top? Anyway, I owned my first house at it's either 25 or 26. And then about a year and a half later, I purchased a rental home. And I did that because I felt the need to provide a sense of security for myself. I did not ask anyone for permission. That was just what I did. And look, I'm 46 now. I had to do that for myself. Now, when I met my husband, he had his own home and stuff like that. And he had a lot more liquid cash than I did at the time, you know. But I'm just saying, I felt the need to own a home. That's like one of the quickest ways of having generational wealth. That's the path to wealth. There will be people who will actually demonize that and not understand. They'll say, "Oh, I don't know why you're owning a home." Look, I'm not talking about people who are not in a position to own a home right now, or people maybe they travel all the time and it maybe doesn't make sense. I'm not talking about those people. We're not talking about edge cases. So if it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply, and it means you get all the way out of your feelings. But there are people who will be like, "Oh, she thinks she's this." So when people start saying these things, I'm like, "I sure do. I don't really care. I don't care." Look, y'all better start saving yourselves because look at what they're rapping about right now. Look at what they're talking about. They're mocking Black women. So what I say, and then I'm gonna have to get off of this thing here, is I said you need to remove yourself from the conversation right now. Whatever that means for you. Some people are going to divest. Some people are just going to be single forever. I don't know. I don't care. You need to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. Because if you don't, things like this happens. And that was unfortunate. You got this one, cautionary tale. He is a walking ding dong. You got this. And this. Like I said, I saved all of those for this. Look, do not even engage in these crazy conversations on these panels. You got to let people stay on their path to destruction by themselves. And I say this because the more you consume that kind of content, it's like poison. It's poisonous. It's like a cancer. It's like foot and mouth disease. Let that stuff go. When you use your mental cycles, you dedicate cycles to something else. That's all you can ask for. You will start, you can be so much creative and innovative. You will become so much more exposed. There's so much you can learn. There's so much stuff I would like, hey, come on. There's so much stuff I would like to talk about on this app. The problem is people don't search for these kinds of things. I really would love to hear more people talk about starting a hedge fund. I need to talk to a friend of mine. He had a hedge fund for a while. He had a small one, and then I think he sold it off or whatever. But like, why aren't we doing that? Why is it that Umar is whining and crying? And I'm like, look, why can't he get this school off the ground? Umar Johnson. We got all this stuff going on, and we talk about, and we're like, and we want to sound all important, and none of these things happen. So I'm like, it's time for these men to start leading. I'm like, women, black women, you don't have to save this community. You've done enough. Let them stand up. All right, I went double the time over. So my kids are making a whole lot of noise as they're packing their lunch. At least they're down here at a decent time. So I'm happy about that. All right, go ahead. Look, let me know your thoughts. You can disagree with me. Disagreement is fine. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. I just ask that you're respectful. I don't have a problem with people disagreeing. It's good for conversation. Have a good one. Oh, subscribe, because I'm amazing and everybody I can do no wrong. Why are you coughing so much?